welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Charlotte. I'm going to be going through my June and July reads this month. I've been so sick, so I've literally not been able to film at all, so I'm so excited to be back with you guys today. I read 10 books in June and 10 books in July. Let's get into it. Starting off with the book that I just finished last night, Shield of Sparrows. I gave this book 4.25 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I think it started off so strong. I think it ended off so strong. I just think that for a bit of the middle, it lost me. The pacing was just a little bit slow at points. And I was just thinking, oh, okay, our MMC has gone off to hunt. And our FMC is kind of just here. And she's just existing. And I was a little bit like, I felt like I was waiting for him to come back from his hunts like she was. So that kind of like pushed down the ranking for me. But if you're looking for a romantasy book that's like really, really strong on the world building, you've got lots of magical creatures, you've got a very unique system, I've never seen or read anything like this type of world, then I would definitely recommend it. I am really excited to read the second book. I did really like the FMC and the MMC. I did kind of see the plot twist very early on, like as soon as it was introduced. But I think that still made it really fun, kind of knowing what the author intended. And I did have a few moments where I was shocked. So I think overall I did really enjoy this and I would recommend it. And then this month I discovered Jennifer Hartman, and I cannot believe how long I've been sleeping on her as an author. Still Beating is truly my favorite read of the year. I can't get over this. I rated this 6 stars. This book, oh my God, life-changing. So basically, you've got our FMC and our MMC is her sister's fiance, right? They've never really gotten along. And in an instance where he's gone to pick her up, they get snatched and are held in captivity by an absolute psycho. All right, so if you're anything like me and the idea of reading really graphic and intense scenes scares you, then trust me, this is fine. Like, I honestly was so terrified about reading this because of like, you know, the essay scenes and things like that. But the way that Jennifer Hartman actually wrote those scenes didn't hold you in that pain. The FMC kind of like detaches from her body and like goes to the beach. And I just think that it made it so much easier to consume because she wasn't trying to traumatize you. She was just trying to show the effects and everything that these characters kind of struggled through and suffered with afterwards. The emotional impact that this story had on me is truly impossible to explain, but that's what made it such a page turner. Dean is such a gorgeous MMC. I am so in love with that man, and him and Cora and the way that their love story and their relationship develops was just so beautiful, so incredible. You get to see what life is like after captivity as well. I cannot recommend this book enough. If you haven't tried Jennifer Hartman, you need to read this. And then in that world, Jennifer Hartman has 2 other books, so I kind of just continued along and then I went and read Lotus. I love this book. I gave this 4.5 stars. This was such a beautiful love story. This is childhood friends to lovers. So our MMC Oliver gets snatched. You can see the kind of the theme here. As a child, and he is held in captivity for 22 years. The book basically starts and he's escaped. So Oliver embodies this new to the world innocence. He's got this very articulate way of speaking due to growing up in isolation in his captivity. So basically he speaks very directly and I just absolutely loved it. He's so sweet. You've got Virgin MMC, a man that begs, a man that yearns. Truly, this story was so beautiful. It doesn't get enough credit. Watching these two just re-fall in love because they were really close as children was actually just so heartbreaking, so emotional. I genuinely really loved this book. And then I was like, all right, let's just finish the last book in that interconnected world. And I read The Stars Are Outside. This one was definitely my least favorite of the 3. It did feel a little bit repetitive. The FMC in this book goes through the same situation as the FMC in Still Beating. It's told in a very different way and it's more about her life in the present than what happened to her in the past. But just because of the premise of this book, it was a little bit repetitive. Gabe is a top tier MMC. I absolutely loved him. He was a yearner. The way he spoke to her, he was truly just there waiting for her to deal with her trauma and just trying to help her through it and just trying to let her know that he was ready once she was ready to love him. He was truly so beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. I gave this this 3.75 stars. It was a bit repetitive and I didn't really like what they did with this whole like debt collection plotline. I thought it was actually really stupid. I thought his reasonings for pushing her away were literally just like irrelevant and dumb. I genuinely don't understand if that was just supposed to be a character flaw, like trying to do what he could do, but then just like not understanding the bigger picture. But I don't know, I just thought it was like a bit ridiculous. So yeah, still enjoyed. Jennifer Hartman's writing is insane, but definitely nothing really special and definitely my least favorite of the three. Okay, so then I was like, all right, I have read a lot of angsty emotional books and I'm loving Jennifer Hartman and I want to continue with Jennifer Hartman, but let's just read a palate cleanser and get the hell out of that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go read a mafia book. So I started the Kimura Chronicles and started Twisted Loyalties, which is the first book in that series. So I went into this book thinking, I just want a palate cleanser, I just want a change of a vibe. Oh my God, I was not expecting to have such an incredible time that I ended up then reading book 2 and book 3 as well. Like, I'm sorry, but Cora Riley, you just absolutely said, no, you're not gonna keep reading Jennifer Hartman, you're gonna come here and enjoy this Mafia series. So basically the MMC Fabiano, he's the enforcer of the Mafia Don. So he's basically in charge of like all the scary stuff. So he has this really, really feared reputation. Everyone in the city is absolutely terrified of him. And then you've got our FMC, Leona. She basically is extremely poor. Both of her parents are addicts and gamblers, so she very much has to fend for herself. She's never had anyone look out for her. She is basically the parent of her parents, right? So she goes and moves to stay with her dad. And she's trying to look for a job. She's only got this one outfit, this dress. It's the only thing she has. It's an absolute freezing day. It starts pouring down with rain. So she's absolutely drenched, teeth chattering, freezing on the sidewalk, wearing an outfit that is so not appropriate for the weather. He is driving past. So she basically ushers him to stop so that she can try and get a lift home. And he is literally looking at her like, why are you not absolutely terrified of me? Everyone is terrified of me. Why is this girl not terrified of me? So he's kind of like, oh, okay, like, I'm curious about this girl who's literally just so not from here. What the hell? So she gets in his car and he drops her home. On the way, he notices she's hungry, so he gets her fast food. And this basically just starts this kind of curiosity that he has with this random girl. Full opposites attract. She's just like this innocent little girl. He's this big, scary man. Oh my God. It's like good girl, bad boy vibes. I absolutely loved it. He is so sexy, so hot. The second time he sees her, he's like, yeah, you're mine. Oh my God. Like genuinely, the way this man takes care of her in every little aspect, I was so sat. This is literally everything I want from a mafia romance. I seriously couldn't ask for more. The only reason it wasn't 5 stars for me is just because there was like a couple instances where the FMC frustrated me just by the choices that she made. And obviously that's just a character flaw. That's just, you know, I don't hold it against her. I understand, but just like in those moments I was like, grah. So yeah. Had to be 4.5, but seriously would recommend. So fun. So then right into the next book I went, Twisted Emotions. I gave this 4.25 stars. I really enjoyed this book. You've got Kiara and she's basically been essayed in her past. So she has a lot of trauma around just like men. If men walk into the room, she's flinching, like she's so uncomfortable. And the guy that she ends up getting arranged marriage to right at the start of the book, he doesn't feel emotions. So it was actually such a fun journey of watching them understand each other and have their relationship develop over time. I can see why people love this MMC. He was really sweet without showing emotions. He is like a proper green flag guy, whilst also being like kind of scary because he's in the mafia and he has no emotions and he, you know, tortures people. So the reason that this one was lower for me than the last one is basically just personal preference on kind of like my excitement around the spicy scenes. I just think because she has lots of trauma and their spicy scenes was him kind of healing her trauma by being such a beautiful man and doing all these beautiful things. I just think because of that, it just made the spicy scenes feel quite clinical and quite planned. Like they would be literally having lunch and then he would say to her, do you want to explore tonight? And then that was her way of being like, yeah, I do. And then they would have like a spicy scene. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, you know, I love my scenes when I feel like there's all this tension built up and it's super exciting. And it's very passionate. And it wasn't like that with them. It was very healing and very beautiful. And I love that. But like, gosh, give me like a passionate, emotional, you know. So That was why it was low for me. And they do have another book, it's a duet, so their story wasn't completely finished. Then I went into the third book in the series, Twisted Pride. I gave this 5 stars. This book was amazing. Oh my God. I don't even love a Stockholm Syndrome trope, and you're giving me a Stockholm Syndrome trope with an MMC who I don't like. I genuinely did not like Remo, and you're giving me this book, and you're making me like him. You're making me like this trope. So impressed. Absolutely amazing. I absolutely loved this take on Stockholm. I think it was so smart. I honestly don't want to say too much about this book because I think it's just really fun to go in blind. But yeah, 5 stars. Oh, would so recommend. Then I went and read another captivity book because I was like, oh my God, I need to experience that still beating vibe again. It was so good. And I read If We Disappear Here. I gave this 4 stars. This was very suspenseful. Both the people that were snatched and held in captivity were married. So it was like a very interesting dynamic between them. Very angsty, emotional, huge page turner. My only critique, and the reason I gave it 4 stars, was I just think that I wanted a little bit more on the romance side. I think personally, I always like to have like one spicy scene throughout the book, and there wasn't any, and I think maybe if I'd gone into this book knowing that I wasn't gonna get that, I wouldn't have kind of felt like that was missing. Then I went and read The Words. This was a very unique experience. This is a rock star romance, a second chance romance, kind of like an enemies to lovers dynamic as well, because something happens and then they kind of don't see each other for, I think it's like 5 years. And then they kind of find themselves in a situation and they have this enemies to lovers dynamic going on. So the plot was super engaging and I was literally locked in. I was so frustrated for our FMC. I just wanted her to get her. I was like sat and ready for that. The MMC. Oh my God. I don't even know where to start with this man. Phoenix. So yeah, okay. The spicy scenes were hot. He's hot. I'll give him that. But he is a stereotypical rock star, an addict, makes all the wrong decisions, man-child, rude. I was just kind of like, like I really was like that and I couldn't help it. I definitely would say my summary of this book is like, loved it, but that's not my man, because I was very sat and locked into this story. But yeah, I was definitely side-eyeing and rolling my eyes a lot at this MMC. Then I read Tempting Venom by Rena Kent. This is her 3rd and final book in the Viper series. This is an MM, Rivals to Lovers, dark hockey romance. Oh my God. I found my new husband. Marcus Osborne, seriously, wife me up. I literally can't. This is probably an example of a book where it's not a 5-star book, but he's a 5-star MMC. And I feel I rated it 5 stars regardless because, oh my God, like I was literally like shy while I was reading it. He is literally everything I want in a male character. He was dangerous, but he was emotionally intelligent. They had this like push and pull dynamic. And in their spicy scenes, like he was literally just like slapping, like, I literally can't. My friend Keone was messaging me while she was listening to it and I was literally like having to go back and like reread scenes because I was like, oh my God, this is just so hot. I can't. I literally can't. It did feel a little bit anticlimactic in the ending because the way Rena Kent wrote this story is she's written all the books in the same timeline, and in the second book, you already know what the plot twist is. So I was like, oh, look, I can see why people would rate it like 4, 4.5, but I feel that I had the best freaking time with Marcus. So like, I'll hold my hands up. That was a 5-star read for me. What can I say? Whoops, forgot to hold the book, but that's fine. Okay, and then we have Garron Park. I listened to this on audio, literally loved. So much fun. This is another Rivals to Lovers. They live in a trailer park. It's a motocross romance. They literally can't get through a sentence without punching each other in the face. It is so much fun. This is actually a duet, and I also read Lot 62, which is the next book after. I gave Garron Park 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. Everything I could want. I don't know why the author decided to make it a duet. I felt like she was just trying to stretch out the story and get as much as she could. I think sometimes authors will give you the first book and give you their journey, and then by the end they're together and you're like, yes. And then the second book is like, okay, we're in a relationship. This is our relationship dynamic, which I understand, but I just really didn't like the direction that Lot 62 went. I didn't like how they villainized Devon and made every single relationship issue that these two had his fault. I'm like, oh, okay, so Devon's just the problem. I hated that. I don't want him to be villainized. I think Maddox could have had maybe more problems. I don't know. I just thought it was such an unnecessary read. And like, I know that maybe I have personal issues with duets, but like, I just genuinely felt like it was such an unnecessary book. If you're gonna read these two, I would just say, read this. But also like, I might just be alone in that opinion because I've heard a lot of people love Lot 62, so I don't know. And then there is a third book in that series called Knock Knock with 2 other characters. And I actually DNF'd it. And look, it's a bit of a hard one because the reason that I DNF'd it is I didn't like the way that the author chose to write it. She teased these 2 characters in Lot 62, and then when you started Knock Knock, you started like from what I would have liked to be the middle of a story. And she just kind of went from there, and then I was like, no, what do you mean? I want all of this. I want the whole start of their journey. Don't you dare just go, oh, we're just gonna, like, what? I don't know. I just was like, I'm not emotionally connected to these 2 because I haven't seen them get to this point. You've literally just given me this middle section and they're just together now. And I was like, what? But anyways, that just detached me from the story heaps and I just ended up not caring. So yeah, I didn't finish it. I read 3 books in the Flames and Thorns series by Marion Blackwood, book 1, 2, and 3. Honestly, book 1, 5 stars, absolutely loved it. This is a fae romantasy series, super easy to understand. If you're like me and you just want to read a fantasy series that is not like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? And you just kind of want to be spoon-fed a little bit and just have a fun time, then I would definitely recommend. Book 2 and book 3 for me were both 4 stars. I do feel like it kind of went downhill a little bit. Book 2, I just felt like there was too much spice and not enough plot. And then, I don't know, the way that the author was writing this, it was like, okay, so she's decided to make 5 books, right? And I did just feel like this could have been probably a trilogy. And it probably would have been better than having 5 books. But some really great ideas, some amazing plot twists. I was locked in. And to be honest, I still haven't even completely decided that I'm done with it. Like, there is a part of my brain that like wants to continue it because the ending of the 3rd book was insane. And I did start the 4th book, but I was just like, I've read so much of this series now. I need something else. I need a break. I need a mood change. And I just don't know if I will end up going to pick it up. But if you are looking for a fantasy series that kind of gives you the same energy as ACOTAR, this is perfect. I really do hope that I go back to it because I was really, really enjoying it. I just think that like in this day and age, 5 books, that is such a huge commitment. Okay, and then I went and read Shadows of Reason. This is by Arnimes, and this is a novella from Shadows of the Past. So in Shadows of the Past, it's basically a mafia romance. You experience what's going on, and then this novella is kind of like what's happening on the side with other side characters. So yeah, lots of fun, fills in a lot of blanks. Professor Student, oh my gosh. The teacher, Silas, so hot, so sweet. They had this little cute mathematics language that they had. Whenever they spoke and they wanted to do something, they would answer in like percentage, like 27.2% of me wants it. Like, it was just really, really cute. Honestly loved. Couldn't give it 5 stars though because a novella just is generally shorter and I just feel like I needed like maybe a little bit more to be able to be like, oh my God. But honestly, as good as a novella could be, that's how I felt about that book. Okay. And then I read Every Summer After. So there is so much controversy online about this book. So many people hate it. So many people love it. Like, oh my God, I had no idea what to expect. I race read this 24 hours before the show came out because I wanted to read it and then watch the show. And I can safely say that I enjoyed it. I think the show is better because a few of the what the hell moments in this book that I understand that people don't like were changed in the show. So I was really, really happy about that. I think that Carly Fortune has such a beautiful way of describing a place. She really makes you feel like you're there. I felt like I could taste the ocean on my tongue. All the imagery of the scenery was just stunning. I had such a vivid picture in my head of the lake that they were at. But, oh my God, literally the worst conflict resolution I have ever read in a book in my life. The way that she was building up this conflict, she doesn't tell you what it is until the very end, right? But I kind of picked early on, I guess, what it was. She was building this up and up and up and up, drops an absolute bomb, 10% before the end, right? At 90%, she drops this bomb. And then the characters have like a 3-page conversation about it. where they just kind of like forgive each other and they're like, okay, amazing. And then they just end up together and it's like all happy. And I'm like, excuse me? You just spent the entire book building up this problem and you haven't even talked it through. You haven't even healed. I was literally just like, I was shocked. I was literally reading this book. I was feeling great. I was like, yeah, this is probably gonna be 4.5 stars, loving, good vibes, childhood friends and lovers. They were so cute as children. You got their past, you got their present. Great. Oh my God. I see what she was trying to do. I really do. I just think that her execution was really, really poor. And I just kind of came out of the book feeling so flat, feeling like so unresolved in the conflict that I was just like, okay, well, 3.75 stars. And that's me being generous, honestly, because I had such a good time right until the end and then it kind of just like soured the experience. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend this. I would recommend the show though. Loved the show. But yeah, I definitely see what people's issues with this is for sure. Then I did Only With You. This is like a basketball romance at a college, enemies to lovers type situation. He tutors her. I think it was really fun. Their reasonings for not liking each other made so much sense. I loved watching them kind of slowly get closer and closer and stop misunderstanding each other and actually understand each other as people. He is such a unique MMC. I've literally never read anything like it. He had so much depth to his character. He had a photographic memory, and then he also had, I can't remember the term of what it's called, but he could see colors when people speak, and he hears sounds and he sees colors. Like, he was genuinely so unique, and I was obsessed. This is the same author as Please Don't Go, so if you've read that and loved it, I would definitely recommend this book. Okay, I've got 2 books left. I've been like trying to race through these because I've just got so many this month. All right, and then last but not least, I did Broken Dove and Silver Elite. Silver Elite was a reread for me. I reread this in anticipation of this. This was 5 stars when I first read it, 5 stars when I read it again, and it'll be 5 stars when I read it again. I absolutely love this. This is dystopian perfection. If you love dystopian and you have not read this, literally what are you doing? Like, literally what are you doing? This reminded me so much of Divergent in all the best ways, but also it's extremely different because in Divergent, it's like, she's divergent. Like, what does that mean? I don't even still to this day know what that means. Ren in this book actually has mental and psychic abilities, so she can do things with her mind. She can read people's thoughts. She can break into their brain. Like, it just had so much more explanation and so much more depth. And genuinely, oh, I love it. Literally one of my favorite books ever, truly. And then if you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that I absolutely loved this. I gave this 6 stars. I thought after Silver Elite, how are you going to continue the vibe? How are you going to still make it good? Oh my God. Such a whole new dynamic. Such a different decision. Something that I would on paper probably not actually like. But the execution of the way that Danny Francis wrote this, I liked it and I was shocked. It is such an incredible thing when an author can do something that I would traditionally be like, I don't think so, and then make me think, oh my God. Like, I think I'd put this book down multiple times because I was like, jaw on the literal floor. This is going to be a trilogy. I do not know how I'm going to wait for the 3rd one. Oh my God, the ending was just like, seriously, it's fast becoming like one of my favorite series. That's everything that I read in June and July. Thank you so much for listening to me absolutely speed through all my books. I hope I gave enough detail today. It was a bit hard because I literally had so many books to get through. I don't think I introduced Louis before. This is my cat. He's such a little cutie. I kind of moved the screen a little bit today so that you could see him, but I don't know if you can see him. He's like kind of shoved in his face. But anyways, as always, if you want to see me again, like and subscribe, and thanks again. Bye.